We've got in a Fox Business exclusive the president of the biggest privately held cable company, Pat Esser, with us now on this news. First, your reaction to it. If there is indeed a lawsuit that comes to fruition blocking AT&T and Time Warner, do you think that that is politically motivated or antitrust sort of competitively motivated?
Well, first, Liz, good afternoon. I didn't know when I showed up here today this news would break. I think what you're starting to see is, you know, we live in a new world today, and big tech companies and media companies, this is all getting redefined and right in front of us. And that means the Department of Justice has to figure out where the lines start to get drawn. These look like pretty typical vertical integrations going back and forth. We had said publicly we had some concern about a company the size of AT&T and DirecTV controlling content, making sure we didn't lose our access to that content. That's been our concern all the way along. But I think what you're seeing right now is the Department of Justice is defining what antitrust means in this new world going forward, where everyone's connected. And I think we're going to see how this plays out. I'm sure AT&T has a very strong position about it.
We know certainly that AT&T has said, we'll file suit right back. We are not going to take this. So my question becomes, what happens next when you have a face-off between the DOJ and the CEO of the company that's trying really hard to acquire Time Warner? What do you think eventually happens if you face a stalemate?
Well, obviously, it's going to be more public than it typically has been historically, because things tended to leak before this deal even got to the Department of Justice to take an official position. I think we're going to get a new definition of what antitrust is between two companies the size of Time Warner Entertainment and AT&T DirecTV, and we're going to find out where those lines get drawn.
But it was just February of this year that Ajit Pai, the man that was chosen by President Trump to head up the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, said, you know what, I don't even expect this deal to come to my desk. He seemed to strike a very magnanimous tone, saying he didn't see a problem with it.
After this.
It was only then, and Charlie, I know you're there, but listen, it was only then, right, Charlie, that President Trump started saying they have to get rid of CNN. AT&T would have to say, fine, get rid of CNN, and then I'll allow it to go through. And suddenly Ajit Pai is taking a much tougher stance. It smells like politics to a lot of people here.
Yeah, let's just go through the time frame, because Fox Business was the first to report, and it wasn't that long after the inaugural, I believe, that private conversations that President Trump had with some of his senior advisors, people like Steve Bannon, people like Reince Priebus, both of whom are gone right now, even conversations that Jared Kushner, his son-in-law and senior advisor, was having, was that they did not like this deal, and they thought there was too much concentration of power, despite the horizontal nature, besides the vertical nature of it, and I keep getting that mixed up. Vertical just means that you have businesses that aren't necessarily competing with each other, which used to be the basis for an antitrust claim. Horizontal is where you get a bunch of businesses that theoretically compete with you. It was as if you merge Fox News and CNN, that would be theoretically competing audiences for cable news. But now it looks like they're changing the dynamic, as your guest said. And this is the question I have for him. If they bring a suit on this, which it looks like they have been, and you know, and this is a vertical integration, what chances do you give a Fox sale of some of its major content assets to Disney or to a Comcast?
Yeah.
Could you assess those? Just give us some odds.
Well, remember back earlier this year when Liz and I spoke, we thought this deal would go through. I thought there'd be some conditions on the deal to protect the assets, to make sure that we all had access to the content.
Well, there's no redundancy really between AT&T and Time Warner Cable.
Right. Well, it's can they take content, like, can they turn it all into NFL Sunday Ticket and hold it exclusively? And as a content distributor, I don't want content exclusively taken away from me. The answer on the Fox opportunities with Comcast, wherever, let's go upstairs and ask them. They sit before floors above
we should point out, because I have asked them, they have no comment.
You think we didn't do that, Pat?
That's in one of my banners.
I've been around you, Liz. You're not afraid to go upstairs and ask the hard
never afraid
questions.
to bang on the door. But Pat, you guys have spread out into different businesses, things like
but
home life and home security. Well, okay.
Give us the odds.
Do I think the likelihood? I thought there was problem with it. I mean, most of the assets we're talking about here are a couple domestic cable networks. Most of it seemed to be international in nature. The studio, I'm not qualified to make a comment about the studio, but to me it seemed like it's a pretty straightforward sale. I mean, Fox had said publicly they want to keep their news assets, they want to keep their sports assets, they want to keep their broadcast stations, so it didn't look that complicated to me.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys were smart because you went into different branches of business such as home life, which was security. You announced it here a couple of years ago.
We did.
And I do want to give an update because often we do these pieces on you guys and then we never follow up. A stunning development where home life, where you put cameras in people's homes and security systems, actually saved one of your customers from the house burning down because a lizard somehow set a fire, a pet lizard?
Domino the lizard. And we actually heard from a customer about 6 weeks ago who actually was appreciative of our home life service. They have a very aggressive lizard that likes to get out of his tank.
There he is on the screen.
There he is. Hello, Domino. And he actually got out of his tank that day. When getting out of his tank, he knocked the heating bulb into the tank and actually caught the tank on fire. The smoke went up, it set off the alarm. They're a home life customer, and obviously our monitoring center caught it. They called the fire department. The fire department got a hold of the homeowner. They have door locks they can unlock from work. They unlock their doors, let the fire department in, save their house, save Domino, and there they are. Happy Cox customers.
I'll tell you something. Cox is one heck of an American company, and we'll be so interested to watch you guys develop.
Thank you, Liz.
Pat Esser here in a Fox Business exclusive on all things media merger frenzy and lizards setting fire and Comcast and Cox saving the day.